Hi everyone, thanks for being here. So I will talk about multisigs and Multix, what I'm building right now. And just briefly about myself, my name is Thibaut Sardan. You can find me on Twitter. I work for Chainsafe, and Chainsafe is a company you may have heard. We've been around for many years. We build many things with, related to Filecoin, to Polkadot, to Ethereum, even Mina, Cosmos, and stuff like this. Related to Polkadot, we built something called Gossamer, which is Go implementation of the Polkadot host. I will not talk about it, obviously, today, but if you have questions, please ping me after the talk. Another thing that we do build with Polkadot is substrate to EVM bridge that is or will be used very shortly by Fala or A-Star to do swaps, token transfer. It can do anything. Yeah, check it out as well. If you have questions, I will not talk about this today, but if you have questions, yeah, I'm happy to answer that. Back to our multisig things. So multisigs, yeah, maybe not everyone or all of you know what it is, etc. So I will start very slow, bring everyone on board, tell you a nice story, and slowly but surely we'll go into details and eventually go into more technicalities. So yeah, if you find it slow at the beginning, it's normal. Just keep it up. So multisigs are everywhere, right? They have been available on all major blockchains since even not Polkadot, but Bitcoins, obviously. And yeah, there were different types of multisigs on Bitcoin. For instance, it's very different from the ones on Ethereum. But yeah, they have been there. It's nothing new at all. On Polkadot, those are basically seen as a normal account. So when the blockchain sees a transaction coming, if it's coming from a multisig, the blockchain doesn't really know it. It's like it can do anything that a normal account can do, right? That's very that's the how do you say, like, to put it in a nutshell, it's several people actually signing on a transaction, then it get accepted, and then it's seen basically as a normal action. So how do you build a multisig today? It's very simple. You need two things. You need first to tell who is part of the multisig, or they say multisigs, I'll say multisig all the time. So who is part of it, and what is the threshold? And the threshold is this number to know how many people need to sign or approve this transaction before it can be accepted and be included on the blockchain. And that's basically it. That's extremely simple. All right, let's start the story. So I'm going to tell you a story about 3 friends. So it's Alice the alligator, Bob the beaver, and Charlie the cat. And those 3 are friends, and they want to build a DAO. It's going to be called the DAOnimo. And so it's a DAO. And when you have a DAO, you want to have funds that not one person can manage or something. So it's good to have a multisig to do this. So we have 3 animals. Each of them, by the way, has, you can see an identicon. It's like basically an account, right? So it's like one animal, one account. One animal could have eventually different accounts, but you'll see the address that is together with this animal. And the threshold will take very simple. 2 out of 3 means if 2 of these members sign or approve a transaction, then the transaction goes through. You don't need like a third one. So it's 2 out of the 3 signatories. That's the name of the members of the multisig. All right, so if you take those 3, with those 3 accounts, and this threshold, it will always be this funky animal thing. This will always be this account, right? This is what we say is deterministic. If you take 3 addresses on Polkadot and a threshold, you put this in the multisig creation flow, I would say, and you get an account, right? Always the same. Cool. Now, let's say Charlie has a little problem. They lose their key. Like this cat is a bit of a funky cat, and yeah. So there's the alligator and the beaver. They're like, cool, now we have this multisig with your account that you lost and you cannot approve, so we need to do something, right? We need to change this address that you had with the DAO, with the multisig, and we need to change it to a new one. So let's say by this time you need to change it. Charlie has a new color. So say it's a new account, right? We need to add a new account to the multisig and change the multisig, right? So what do? Well, we take the same, the alligator, beaver, and cat, take the same threshold, but this is a new account, right, that is created. This is a new multisig, right? And the thing is, it's not the same as the one previously. So why is that a problem? Well, we said it's a DAO, right? So it's a DAO. It has, it has eventually funds. It has some JPEGs or whatever. You can have an identity on chain, for instance. So this is all tied to this address, right? This identicon with the ginger cat, right? Now it's not the same as this one, right? So what you want to do? You want to transfer the funds, change the identity. If it's a DAO that is well known publicly, you had maybe published the address on chain, or not on chain, but on Twitter, and said, okay, for instance, you can delegate to me or things like this. And if the address is changing, this is actually super annoying, right? There is a solution to this. This is called pure proxy. Okay, so bear with me. This is not super simple, but this is not super hard either. I have this mental model of a pure proxy being this marionette. So this is the thing that basically cannot do anything without someone else. So this marionette, if you don't have the controller of the marionette, it doesn't do anything, right? So say we have this multisig. So this was the first one, right? The ginger one. It has a little crown now because it's the controller of this pure proxy, this account. This is a new account. So pure proxy is an account controlled by another account. It cannot do anything on its own, right? Yeah, it does anything the controller does or wants it to do. So in this case, we're going to put, for instance, this first multisig as the controller, and it has no private key. Doesn't really matter, but it's just interesting to know, like, the stuff doesn't do anything on its own, right? The pure proxy. I will call it pure, by the way, in the future. So what you should do, actually, as a DAO is have this pure proxy, this account that, cannot do anything without the controller to tell you to do stuff. And you put this multisig as the controller of this, and you put the funds, the JPEGs, the identity on this pure proxy account. And why is that cool? Well, if there's Charlie, changing, you put a new multisig, comes in, and you created a new multisig, and what you can do is you can call this proxy add proxy method, which will basically add someone else as the controller. So once the first controller says, I'm going to add another proxy account, everyone in this on this multisig has to accept, or anyone, like 2 out of 3, right? So like basically the beaver and the alligator are still there, still have their key. They can accept to add another account, which is the one with the new Charlie one. And now we end up with 2 controllers. Totally fine, no problem, actually. We can have many controllers. We can have, like, this can go a bit crazy. Now, what we can also do now, at this point, when we have 2, we can have the new multisig called remove proxy, which means we want to remove the old one, right? So at this point, what happens is that we have this other multisig that is not the controller anymore. Again, totally fine. This multisig is not dead, right? If you had some funds there, like, it's still working. It's just not anymore the controller of the funds of the DAO anymore. All right, so this is all cool and looks, I hope, kind of understandable and not that complex in the end. Problem is to achieve what I just showed. It's actually not super simple. You have to use Polkadot.js apps, and you have to kind of know what you're doing. So also when you review, you sign transactions as a multisig, you have to coordinate. I'm not going to go into the details, but if you've heard about this, like, you have to basically send a call to some of your, like, say the alligator is doing a transaction for the multisig for the DAO. It has to send, some, it's called call data to the beaver and the cat, so that they can check it, like, using another messaging system, online, whatever, on WhatsApp or Signal. So it's not so cool. Also, it's, yeah, creating a flexible setup the way I explained with a pure proxy is actually not super simple. Like, I wouldn't say it's super hard, but it's not super simple. It would be nice to have a nice interface to this. And finally, the stuff that I just showed with, Charlie the new cat being a member and being a controller of the same pure proxy, etc. It's not super straightforward to do. Enters Multix. Hey, that's what I've been building for quite some months now. And this is basically an interface to do exactly what I showed, to manage multisigs, to rotate, signatories, with a kind of simple interface. So with Multix, I try to do something with the best UX, basically. So you come in, it's an interface, you come in, you connect with your extension. There's no login, no whatever, you just connect, and boom, you see what's available to you. So your existing multisigs, pure proxy, etc., will be shown to you right away. There's nothing like, oh, I need to add, the beaver, the cat, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, I am the alligator, and boom, it will show the DAO Nemo and stuff. And if you are just curious, you're not a member of DAO today, and you're curious about, okay, how does this look actually for others? There's a view-only mode where you can put a pure proxy or multisig and just see what's happening. So I actually have a tweet from recently where I'm saying, go check out the Chaos DAO, which is a DAO active on Polkadot now, and Kusama has been for a very long time, where they are delegating, they ask for delegation and they vote for you. And they have a pretty complex setups with pure proxies, several controllers, and this is super nicely displayed on Multix. So you can just watch that just to have a look. But let's get in the fun. I want to show you a demo. So what I will show you is Multix. Let me put that a bit bigger. So here. This is Multix, by the way, and I basically already have this DAO Nemo created. So this is a DAO with the alligator, beaver, and cat. And so you can see at the top there's this pure proxy. So this is the pure that has the funds and the JPEGs and the identity, etc. This is the multisig that I will call ABC for alligator, beaver, and cat 1. This is the first that was created. And here we have those three there. Cat 2, that's a little glitch, should be cat, whatever. I can rename that. No, I cannot, whatever. So I want to show you what we do between exactly what I did before and showed you, okay, we're going to just change this cat. So this cat 2, so Charlie, we're going to just try to change one of the signatory. Also, just a really quick thing that you can do, I want to show you, but we won't do this. You can, send funds. You can do manual extrinsics if you want with your pure proxy and multisigs, etc. I won't show you this today, but you can do this. So we're back into our Dynamo thing. What I want to do is change the multisig. So I click this, and you have your pure proxy. This will not change, right? We're going to change the controller of the pure proxy. And here we have alligator, beaver, and cat, and I will remove the cat 2 and add actually this other cat address. This is a different one, and basically this will create the new multisig, right? So I'm changing it. I keep the threshold 2 out of 3. And what's going to be done here, this is explained. There are 2 transactions. One is to add the new multisig as the controller, and the second one is to remove the old one. So I'm going to sign this as the alligator. I have, by the way, like all the keys on this same Multix. Usually, right, the alligator is a different person as the beaver, etc. So I cannot sign with all the members. But obviously here for the demo, I just want to show this. Yeah, I'm not a super multitasking person. When I do something, I can't do second. So I didn't show you what it is, although you should verify everything you're doing. Here, this is the remove proxy call here. The first one was the add proxy. So the interface is reactive, so you basically wait for stuff to happen. So the first thing that happened is that I will add a proxy to this. Add a multisig to this proxy. So here, I didn't do anything, right? I didn't send call data to my friends, whatever. This is shown, displayed here. Look, we have a new transaction, and what is happening? So we're doing a proxy add proxy. This is the new multisig, and it actually shows you who is part of this. So I'm adding a proxy, and this is a new account that is alligator, beaver, and cat. So this is the new one that we want to add with the new cat address, right? Extremely important to review stuff, obviously, and Multix is showing it to you in a nice way. And you can see this has been submitted by alligator, but beaver and cat too need still to, accept it. So I can review that, and as the beaver, I will approve it. So it will be a second. Let me just do that real quick, because again, I cannot talk while I do something. This is yeah, it will be basically approved by the beaver, and then it will go through. So one thing that is amazing with Multix is that you can also have a little overview of what's the setup. So right now, we still have the cat2 there, and it's controlling, those three are controlling the ABC1, which is our first multisig, and this is the controller of the pure proxy, right? Now, what I just did is adding a new controller. So eventually, if I'm lucky, then we have now a second controller that actually was added here. And this is, if you check it out, this is the one that is controlled by alligator, beaver, and cat. And the cat2 is here with alligator and beaver for the ABC1. So I can come here and see again, like those two multisigs that are the controllers. You know what, just for fun, I mean, not for fun, but I will just give it a name for the second one. So it's like here, ABC2. And you can see like this ABC2 is a controller with the same threshold, and I still have the old controller. Now I have a pending transaction, which is remove proxy, and you can check again very nicely, okay, what am I removing here? Am I not shooting myself in the foot? I'm removing the first one, the old ones, with the signatories with the cat2, so we're fine, right? That's what we wanted to do. So I can review this, approve. You do want to verify everything you're doing here, right? This is not something I've done for the first ones, but like you do want to verify that you're removing a proxy and that you're removing the right thing, right? And so once this goes through, basically what happens is that, well, this ABC2 will be the only one that is the controller of this DAO. So that's it. That's just what I wanted to show you. It's like a couple clicks. You can verify it's shown to you nicely, and that's, I think, the most important. Couple words about Multix. Has no tracker, very, very strong Web3 value for people who know me, like I'm not joking about this. Has no private database. There is an indexer, but it's like basically getting info from the, from the blockchain and showing it in a nice way. It's been fully open source since day 0, day 1, whatever. Like we're just iterating. It's been live on Kusama Polkadot for quite a while already. And yeah, there's an indexer again, fully open source, but yeah, that's it. To my opinion, it is the best UX for multisigs and with the most open stack. That's it. Check it out. And yeah, thank you. We have 1 minute for question, if there is a question. There is one question, real quick.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thanks. UI UX here looks really nice. Can you share, like, can I use this, for example, in, I have two questions. Can I use it in state mine or state mint already? And what was the second? How flexible this Multix is. For example, if there is an update in staking palette and they have staked some assets using this multisig account,
yes.
Do you need to make any changes to be compatible with these updates or not?
Okay. So first question, state mine, state mint. It is not live on it. It takes maybe 1 day to add some networks. So no problem. If you need this, please, 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 come to me. I'm super happy to talk to you, and we'll add state mine, state mint, no problem. Regarding the staking palette, etc., if there are change, again, like this is if you're using an account that is a multisig or that is not a multisig, and you're staking stuff with it, like the staking palette doesn't know about that, right? This is an account, so there's nothing to change. This is just already working, and if this evolves, like as long as there's no, like nothing, I mean, I don't want to put my bet on this, but yes, I think it will be no problem at all. There's nothing to update on Multix side. Any other question? Find me. Yeah, I talk to you after. Thanks so much.